Good evening, afternoon, morning, everybody. This is the Golden Boot Podcast. Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, wherever you're listening from, we appreciate you so much. If you're listening to on Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio or Spotify, all of our socials are right there. Check it out on the left. Cody's pointing to it right now. I am your host, George Hancock, joined tomorrow, whatever day, time, this morning, whatever. Whatever time of day you're watching from, we are joining you live. Well, live. We're recording it, actually. So this has gone off the rails already. I'm your host, George Hancock. This is Vandy Chris, Cody Slavinsky down there at the bottom, graphics savant himself. We are breaking down the Florida Gators. We've been breaking down the SEC with our little mini-sodes, part of the Golden Boot podcast. They've been going really well. We appreciate you guys so much on the support.
Shout out Arkansas, by the way. Let's just say it right now. Shout out Arkansas fans.
Yes, Arkansas
you guys
fans,
have rallied.
Hey, listen, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Arkansas fans have nothing better to do than sit around on social media and complain. So
love it.
anytime anybody makes content about Arkansas that they may not agree with or agree with, they're going to jump on. So shout out to
bring the smoke, Arkansas. Bring the smoke.
Sure, with your 15 viewers you got so far. Okay, moving on. Here we go. Florida Gator football. Now, here's the thing. We're gonna start this out real quick and real just listen, Gator fans. Sunbelt Billy, as somebody that we just recently talked to, most eloquently put his name. I gotta know, and you gotta put in the comments if you're watching on YouTube, whatever. What do you think about old Sunbelt Billy? Because I'm gonna tell you, I've got some very real concerns. Number one, I don't think he's gonna make it out of this season. The schedule is way too hard. We'll get into that a little bit later. But I don't think Florida, the great institution that is in Gainesville, Florida, is going to put up with yet another losing season. That's right. I said there's a little tidbit of information and a little spoiler alert of what I think my prediction is going to be. But let's break this thing down. Let's do due diligence here. Starting off with Florida's offense. Cody, I know you got the roster pulled up. What do they have? What kind of weapons they got? What can we expect?
Yeah, I mean, all right. So first of all, let me just say I am going to probably get the most hate in the comment section on this video. There is no question about it because we know my feelings on Florida, and I have nothing but negative to say about this team this year. And it's not because of the talent; it is because of the schedule. But realistically, you lose, Trevor Etienne. That is not an easy person to replace. Obviously, they were a two-headed beast last year. You had Montrell Johnson as well at running back. He's back this year. He is the featured back for Florida this year. You have Graham Mertz returning at quarterback. He showed good signs last year. He did. But the problem is that he doesn't have Ricky Pearsall to throw to this year. Losing Ricky Pearsall is, I mean, it's the worst piece of that offense to lose, to be quite honest. And don't get me wrong, you got Eugene Wilson III coming back, who is a very talented kid who has a lot of potential. You have a veteran offensive line, and I think the offense will be fine. I think they will be able to put it together this year, but it doesn't matter because of who they play. Yeah, and that really hurts them. I mean, they've got talent at receiver, talent at running back, talent on the line, loaded at tight end. I mean, they've got plenty of pieces there, but it's just not good enough. And I hate to say that. I think Billy Napier is a fantastic head coach, actually. I think he's one of the better coaches in the country. The problem is he's not the right fit for Florida. He went into a not-so-good situation, and obviously Florida fans have high expectations for their program. It's win now or get lost, which, I mean, let's be real. If you're an SEC fan outside of Vanderbilt, that should be your mindset. And it is what it is. Will
Right.
Billy Napier be the coach next year for Florida? Probably not. Should he be next year? Yes.
Yeah.
That's a conversation for the offseason because I'm sure I'll have a fun
Exactly.
run with that. You go to the defensive side of the ball. That's where it gets a little bit fun. You have, I will say they're they're a pretty young defense, but they
Yes.
have key pieces that are
Mhm.
their defensive line. Everybody there has been in college at least 4 years.
Right.
That is good for them. Okay. Cam
Mhm.
Jackson, a stud at nose tackle. I mean, there's
Mm.
no question about it. Just everything he's done in his career so far leading up to this, when he was at Memphis, like he was a beast.
Right.
And coming out of high school, I wanted him at LSU. I did. He's a
Yeah.
Louisiana kid and very talented. Obviously, it makes sense with Billy Napier being at Florida, coming from
Mm.
UL.
Mhm.
It makes a lot of sense. You have
Mm.
Shamar James, who is a player that I really like the upside for him at middle linebacker.
Mhm.
You got Asa Turner coming in that's going to be playing safety this year. There are some really good pieces there, but
Right.
it's just one of those things where as much talent as they have, it's
Yeah.
not quite up to par with the top half of the SEC. And the problem is they play the world's worst schedule that you could ask
Right.
for.
Yep.
And they're just, I mean, it's like a stuck between a rock and a hard place. I mean, there's just no getting out of that.
Right.
And I mean, I'll go ahead and pull the schedule up for us to look at real quick because
Yes.
I mean, look at this schedule. Miami is loaded this year. They have
Yes.
tons of talent on that team. Okay, you have
Mhm.
Cam Ward coming in from Washington State, who is obviously a very good quarterback. He showed
Mhm.
it up there. Now, will he translate well to the ACC? Will he fit the system at Miami? Maybe. I would
Mm.
think he would, but there's no telling.
Mhm.
You also have Damian Martinez, who is a fantastic running back coming down from Oregon State. So Miami, they're back this year. I don't see Florida being ready for that, especially no offense to Florida, but I saw some camp footage and I didn't like what I saw. All right,
Mm.
so game 1, Miami, that's a tough game. Can they win it? Yes, they can. Will they win it? I would not bet on that.
Mm.
Samford should be a win. Samford's a very good SoCon team. They're, always game, ready to go, and they have a very talented roster this year. But I'm going to give Florida that game because it's a talent level thing. I just don't
Right.
think they're up to par with, Florida. Go to
Mhm.
you got Texas A&M next. Texas A&M, they've got some good pieces on that team. Connor Wegman's back. He's healthy. He's ready to go. You have a new coaching staff, tons of players that are elite prospects. A&M stacked. If they buy into Mike Elko's plan, they're ready to go. And A&M will be a playoff contender this year. Then you have at Mississippi State. It is never easy to play in Starkville. Let's just be real.
Mm-mm.
It's not. And the only thing that makes me think that I might give this to Florida is the fact that we don't know a single thing about Mississippi State,
No, we do
except
not.
that Jeff Lebby knows how to call a good offense as an offensive
Mhm.
coordinator. How does he run a team? We have no idea. Then you finally get an off week. Then you have
Which,
UCF.
by the way, bye week is up by a half a point right now in
Jeez,
Vegas.
that
So
sucks. That sucks. So then we get into Georgia's territory right here.
Mm.
They're playing UCF after the bye week, who has KJ Jefferson now. And I mean, greener pastures for sure.
Yeah.
KJ doesn't have to play against the elite defenses week in and week
Nope.
out like he was in the SEC. So
Right.
KJ Jefferson might look like a Heisman contender at UCF this year, to be perfectly
Yep.
honest. But it is what it is. At Tennessee, I'm sorry, that's a loss. I only have to break that down. Kentucky.
Mm.
I'm high on Kentucky this year. I really
Mm.
am. I think they're a great team. I'm not giving Florida that game because I really
Yeah.
think that Kentucky's the real deal. Again,
Right.
next week, bye week. This bye week, I think, was what, a 3-point favorite?
Mhm.
Mhm.
All right, so then you got your neutral site game with Georgia every year. That's one of those games where you never know what's going to happen. Obviously, I'm picking Georgia for common sense reasons, but again, this is a game that could be close. At Texas, sorry, that sucks. You got LSU at home. Go Tigers. That enough said there. Ole Miss is great, and then at Florida State. That schedule is the worst schedule I have ever seen in my life, and I don't care who the team is that gets this schedule. You're not going to have a good record with the schedule. I don't think a team like Georgia, Alabama, LSU, anyone like that would have a good record against the schedule. It is that bad. That being said, I've spoken enough. What do you guys think about the schedule?
No, that's the thing. I mean, you may have spoken enough, but you've so eloquently put it. And you're the heel in this video, boy.
I'm ready. Bring the
so-
smoke, baby. Let's go.
But no,
So
I mean, as far as the schedule goes, I mean, it speaks for itself. Go ahead, Chris. You first.
how many wins total did you say they have, Cody?
Oh, they're going 2-10 this year.
Doesn't even bat an eye.
Okay.
I've been saying it for weeks. 2-10.
I'm borderline 1-11, 2-10.
1-11. Oh my Lord. If I'm gonna tell you right now, if Florida goes 1-11, I think there might be a rush on the stadium to buy a Florida fan. I mean, I don't even know at that point if they don't fire him by when he's 1-6. There's I mean, it's liable to be World War III, riot, pandemic, the whole 9 yards at Florida.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, looking at the schedule, if they start out 1-3, I would not be shocked if there was some kind of announcement made in that bye week.
Yep.
If they start out, let's say 1-6, there will definitely at least be something said in the next bye week.
Yeah.
But the game. So, all right. So Samford is the one game where I'm like, yes, I will give them that game. Then the other two games that I'm really on the fence about, obviously, is Mississippi State, because we don't know enough about Mississippi State. I mean, people can act like they can break it down. You can't. I don't care who the football analyst is. I don't care how much film you watch. You cannot base a team season based off of what one player did at another school last year and assume they're going to do it at this school now. And that is the situation with Mississippi State. And UCF, kind of the same thing, but I think they're in a more of an upward trend because of what their schedule they will be facing week in and week out is. And let's be real, UCF wants this game more than Florida does.
Yeah.
They have wanted it for 7 years.
And it's not necessarily that I'm not saying that in terms of the players feel that way. Obviously, Florida sees this game as business and they're going into this to win. I don't think this Florida team is going to quit all year. I think they're going to play it out very hard all year. And I actually, as much as a Florida hater as I will be labeled as for this, I will say that I do hope that Florida proves me wrong. I really do. I hope it's not on November 16th, but I hope in general, I want to see Florida do good because, I mean, Florida is, of the SEC, I will count Florida as a blue blood.
Yep.
They really are. They're the team that got us kicked off, really in the BCS era. And I mean, LSU got the championship in 2003. That was nice. But after that, that's when the Urban Meyer era started, the crime wave, all that fun stuff.
Right.
And that's when the SEC dominance began and has not ended yet.
Right.
And I want to see Florida do well for the sake of their program because they need it. Florida is too good of a program historically to be bad. There is no excuse for them to ever, win less than 6 games every year.
Agreed.
Honestly, 8 games. 8 games should be the floor for them.
That's been my argument from the beginning. And here's the thing. If UCF pulls off a win in the swamp, there's going to be hell to pay. Somebody's got to pay the piper because UCF, I mean, I would think that if they have ever won at the swamp, it's very rare. I mean, Arkansas.
I don't think they ever have.
They've
I don't
never
think they ever have.
Arkansas for the first time last year got over the hump and won in the swamp. But if UCF is able to drop that over an SEC team at home, there's no possible way that Sunbelt Billy can survive that. I mean, I know you guys are breaking down records. The whole thing for me is I'm looking at this. It is very strange to look at an SEC schedule. And we haven't talked about this, but Florida is potentially going to be so bad that we can take time to talk about this. Is it weird having 2 bye weeks in for the first time ever? Seeing 2 bye weeks, for the first
Vanderbilt's
time.
got 2.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's got 2.
No. I know, but this is the first year that we've had 2 bye weeks. Yes,
Is
True.
it?
No,
It
Is
is.
it really?
Yes,
we had 2. Vanderbilt had 2 byes last year.
Well, yeah, because you did week 0, but most teams did not.
Oh.
Most teams only have 1 bye week, unless I'm just off my rocker.
I thought ever since
Like-
they went to 12 games, everybody had 2 bye weeks.
Hang on. Let me just look something up since we got some time.
For sure.
So
And
while
while you're looking that up,
that up,
Hmm.
I'm going to say the only for sure win I see for Florida is Samford.
Mhm.
Samford, yeah.
And I contend that Mississippi State and Florida will be the worst 2 teams in the SEC. And if Florida loses that game at Mississippi State, which is entirely possible,
Yep.
they're looking at 1-11
Yeah.
because they're not beating Miami. They're not beating Texas A&M. UCF has been chomping at the bit for this game. They're not winning that.
Right.
Tennessee's just going to out-athlete them.
Yep.
Kentucky's better than they are.
Mhm.
Georgia, that game's going to be over in the first quarter.
Mhm.
Texas is going to be over in the first quarter.
Mhm.
LSU's going to out-athlete them. Ole
Mhm.
Miss is going to out-athlete them. And
Mhm.
Florida State, despite what they lost last year, is a better football team.
See, with
I agree
Florida
with all that.
State, I do have one question on that team, though, is DJU. Is he
To-
going to be able to lead them over the hump?
Right. Before we get into that, to give everyone context here, I just looked it up. So Arkansas's schedule, they had 1 bye week.
Oh.
October 28th. So, I mean, so it's just weird for me to look at too. But go ahead. You were saying, DJ, what?
Yeah, with DJU coming into
Yeah.
Florida State, it'll be his 3rd
Mhm.
stop. He started at Clemson, went to Oregon
Mhm.
State, and he's just been a system quarterback everywhere he's went. He hasn't wowed anybody. He hasn't done anything just remarkable in his career, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And I mean, he was very highly touted coming out of high school, and
Right.
he just, to me, he has not lived up to the hype. I mean, he will
Right.
make. He'll be a fine quarterback in a non-NFL league. Depending on where he would go. But
Mhm.
I mean, overall, I have not been impressed. He's one of those guys that I like him. I think he is a great dude, and I want him to, again, prove me wrong. But
Mhm.
I think that if there is a game that Florida pulls an upset, it is that. I think it would be that game. I also think the Georgia game is going to be closer than the experts think.
Yeah. So, okay, go ahead, Chris. What were you going to say?
I was just going to ask, didn't DJ throw for 400 yards at a number 1 ranked Notre Dame a couple of years ago as
He
a
did.
true freshman?
He did.
I mean, he's got the ability.
Oh,
I think
ability's
he's
there.
better. I think
Yeah,
he's better than any. He's better than any quarterback on Florida's roster.
Well, that I won't disagree with.
That's a good debate to bring up. Actually,
Yeah. I mean, it's a good debate to have.
because I mean,
really wanna have
Graham
it.
Mertz he's a fine quarterback. He fits the
He's good.
system well, and he will control that
now.
offense. I don't think offense will be the problem for Florida at all this year.
Yeah.
I really think the defense is the issue this year, and I mean, because their defense was not great last year,
Mhm.
and I'm not expecting to see much of a jump this year. So I mean, it's just one of those things, luck of the draw for them, and they didn't get the luck on their side.
So let's do this.
So what do you
let's
think
put our
about Florida players talking trash?
Okay.
Wait, what now?
What do you think about Florida players talking trash?
Let them keep doing it.
Let them keep
Keep
talking
talking.
trash.
I mean, honestly, I'd rather see him prove it on the field versus talking about it, but that's just my opinion.
I don't know if you guys saw what Tyreek Sapp had to say yesterday, but he says Florida doubters are going to pay the price.
Yeah,
I did see that actually. I did.
you can
And
you can
I hope-
absolutely talk and flap your gums all you want to, but if I don't see it on the field, I'm not. I don't listen to smoke. I want to see
Right.
fire. I mean,
I want to
that's
be,
how.
and I want anyone watching this, that's a Florida fan, before you go and try to eviscerate us in the comments, which I totally expect. I actually expect this to be our lowest liked,
Yep.
most commented, most hate
Most
type of
thumbs
video that we
down.
have.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
I'm prepared for that and I respect
Sure.
it. That being said, I want this team to prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see
Yeah.
I want to see this team want to run through a brick wall for Billy Napier.
Yeah.
I want to see
Mhm.
Billy Napier come out and show how good of a coach he truly is. I
Yes.
really want to see that this year. I don't
Well-
want this, crap like, all right, so you had the Jaden Rashada lawsuit come up, which is
Yeah. Oh
absolute
Lord.
crap.
Wow.
I want to drop so much profanity when I'm talking about Florida for some reason, but I'm not going to do that out of respect for the show. But I mean, so many weird promises like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that lawsuit coming out hurts them in recruiting.
Yes, it does.
But
Mhm.
then again, they did get DJ Lagway, who is one of the honestly,
Mm-hmm.
he's probably my favorite incoming freshman quarterback in the
Yep.
entire country. The kid is just straight talented. He
Yep.
has a very bright future, and I genuinely hope, for the sake of this program, that if a coaching move is made, that he does not depart, because
Mm.
he could really be a good future for Florida at the
Mhm.
quarterback position.
It-
Not that Graham Mertz is going to get his job taken or anything this year. I think Graham Mertz is a fine
No.
quarterback and will do fine for them this year. But
They said the same stuff about Anthony Richardson.
I think there's a big difference though.
There's-
Lagway,
yeah,
the way
there's-
he
there's a
plays though,
talent
he's
disparity between the two. I mean, Anthony Richardson didn't look
Is a
Like-
quarterback in the NFL.
sure
Yep.
picked 4th overall. Yes, you're right.
And Lagway's not that guy.
Neither was
I'm just
Anthony
saying.
Richardson. I'm just saying. I mean,
I think honest to God truth, unbiased me aside, I genuinely think DJ Lagway has a higher upside than Anthony Richardson all day.
I think so. I think so too.
I will go to my grave on that one.
Just remains to be seen. But here, let's put our feet to the fire, and wrap this thing up. So, record prediction, Cody, you've already given yours. You think they're going to go 2-10. Chris, your record prediction was what?
Either 1-11 or 2-10.
Oh God, 1-11. Oh my God. I'm going to be the nice guy here. I'm going to give him 3-9.
Oh, you're so nice.
I don't know where that other win's going to come out of. But daggum, if they can pull off Samford, Mississippi State, and UCF, that's about the bit. That's to me. Those are the 3 most winnable games. Because UCF may look like a train wreck. Just depending on whatever. So I say 3-9. I mean,
right.
and that's
So there is one thing I want to say though. Okay, so I say 2-10, but looking at the schedule, if I'm going to be honest though, there are games in here I think that could go either way.
okay.
Okay, so let me give my either way prediction. If Florida were to win these games, I think you're close. So I think that the first game I'll give them is Miami.
Yep.
I'll give them Samford, obviously. They take a loss to A&M. That's 2-1. Give them Mississippi State 3-1. Give them UCF 4-1, 4-2 at Tennessee, 5-2 after Kentucky, 5-3 after Georgia, 5-4 after Texas, 5-5 after LSU, 5-6 after Ole Miss, 6-6 with Florida State make a bowl. They do that, Napier keeps his job.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
That being
If
said,
they somehow make the toughest schedule in the country and go 6-6, which I don't think they're going to do, but if they do, I think that Sunbelt Billy gets to stick around for a little bit longer. Yep. So, there you have it. We broke it down every which way we could think of. It's just Go ahead, Chris.
Real quick, give me 2 coaching names. If Napier's let go,
I have
give me
no
2
idea.
coaching names.
I don't even know. I can't even think about coaches right now.
GJ Kinney, Texas State.
And I
Jeff Traylor.
I'll actually, you know what? I'll give you one. It shouldn't surprise you. I think. Well, no, I take it back. Never mind.
I will say this: if Florida makes a coaching change, they will go for a big splash hire.
Yes, they
And
will.
I think there's no better name in the country than GJ Kinney from Texas State. What that man has done in just 2 years of coaching, he has a 20-7 overall record, and he literally has put together the best offenses you can see. There is no reason that he shouldn't be the top guy.
Let me tell you one name that we will hear in that conversation: freaking Lane Kiffin. Honestly, I think any job in the SEC doesn't, even though he's no. I know it's not going to happen, but I don't know why every single time a job opening in the SEC goes, well, Lane Kiffin might. Lane's not going anywhere, but we're going to hear that name. I'm telling you right now. So there you have it, folks. You've heard our predictions. You've heard it. If you hate us, if you like us, make sure you comment below. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And as always, follow us on every single platform you're listening to and watching from. So we're available on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. You can also email us at the Golden Boot Podcast at gmail.com. Hey, just email us and tell us we're a bunch of idiots who don't know what we're talking about. We don't care. It's cool. Opinions are great. We love it. So we appreciate you guys so much. Listen, stay tuned because Monday night is our live show. You can't stand our prediction on Florida? Jump in the live show and heckle us. We don't care. It's live show is Monday night, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, right here on our YouTube channel. Anywhere you're listening from, it'll be live. And it's going to be a great time. So with myself, Vandy Chris, Cody Slavinsky, this has been the Golden Boot Podcast. Stay golden, everybody. We will see you next time. Peace out.